Hey everyone, my name is Nick Barker. I'm going to be doing Chapter 2, Clarifying Values. In this chapter, there are 7 sections, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of the sections and give what I thought were key points from the author and also my perspective as well. Section 1 was Find Your Voice. Alright, to find your voice, you have to explore your inner self. You can only be authentic when you lead with principles that matter most to you. Otherwise, you're just putting on an act. When a leader finds their voice and has clarified their values, they will find the courage to express ideas, make tough decisions, and lead with confidence, knowing they have taken charge of their life instead of impersonating others. So basically, what this is saying is to find your voice, you have to take an honest look at your inner self and kind of establish your core values and who you are and what you're all about. Um, the next section is let your values guide you. Values influence every aspect of your life and set the parameters for the hundreds of decisions you make every day, consciously and subconsciously. Values constitute your bottom line and serve as a guide to actions. Values supply you with a compass by which to navigate the course of your daily life. That last sentence there probably sums this section up the best. So once you've established your values and clarified your values, you need to let those values guide you. By doing that, you stay consistent and you stick to your foundation, and you're much more credible. And it keeps you from making unethical decisions. Um, Say it in your own words is the next section. Leadership is a form of art, a means of personal expression. To be a credible leader, you have to learn to express yourself in ways that are uniquely your own. You have to tell your own story through your own words to be genuine. So, you need to be who you are and say what you feel, and you need to use your own words when you're doing that. This section tells us that, borrowing words from somebody else is basically making you, not credible and not genuine. Uh, like I said, you need to use your own words and be who you are. Also, your constituents, they're going to know they're going to know when you're putting on a show and using someone else's words, and they're going to recognize that. So it is your responsibility to follow. It is your responsibility to your followers to express yourself authentically in a way they will recognize as your own. So, all right, the next section is find commitment through clarifying values. Personal values drive commitment and are the route to motivation and productivity. Personal values carry more weight than an organizational lecture on values. That's important to remember. Workplace and organizational commitment are aligned with personal values and who you are and what you're about. So this is telling us that your constituents are going to, find commitment and align their personal values with you and what you're about more so than they are an organizational lecture on values. So, people are going to commit to other people instead of an organization's idea about what values should be. All right. So the next section is affirm shared values. Um, Although clarifying your own values is essential, understanding the values of others and building alignment around values that everyone can share are equally critical. Shared values are the foundational pillars for building productive and genuine working relationships. Disagreements over fundamental values result in conflict, false expectations, and diminished capacity. Hold each other accountable to what we value. And also periodically take the organization's pulse to check for values clarity, and consensus. So basically, affirm shared values is telling us that a leader's values are essential, but it's equally as essential to have shared values among the organization and the leader's constituents and followers. You should also, hold each other accountable to what we value. So, affirming shared values is basically making sure that everyone is on the same page with the value system. And when people deviate from that value system, that's when conflict arises and disagreements happen and the wheels kind of start to fall off. So periodically you need to affirm shared values among everyone. The next section, give people reasons to care. This is basically the same principles as affirming shared values and goes hand in hand with it. But The values leaders espouse must be consistent with the aspirations of their constituents. Leaders who advocate values that aren't representative of the collective won't be able to mobilize the people to act as one. Um, when individual, group, and organizational values are in sync, people have reasons for caring about their work and are more effective and satisfied while experiencing less stress and tension. Through conversations and discussions, leaders renew commitment by reminding people why they care what they're doing, and these exchanges reinforce feelings that everyone is on the same team. So basically, you're affirming shared values, and the only way to do that is to have open dialogue and discussion about those values and about the value system, and again, making sure everyone is on the same page. Uh, when everyone when everyone's on the same page, you experience less stress, and everything is more fluid, and tensions aren't high. All right, the last section: forge unity. Forge unity. Don't force it. Uh, Leaders can't impose their values on an organization member. So that basically sums it up right there. Leaders must be proactive in involving people in the process of creating shared values. For people to understand the values and come to agree with them, they must participate in the process. Unity is forged, not forced. And again, a unified voice on values results from discovery and dialogue. So again, you have to forge unity. You can't force it. I can't walk into a room and tell you that these are my values. This is what I stand for, and everyone else is gonna share these and go with it and go with the flow. It's not how things work. You need to have shared values in a shared value system, and the only way to do that is have open dialogue and discussion. You can't force it. You can't impose your will on others, because when you try to do that, disagreements are going to happen, tensions are going to rise, and the wheels are going to fall off. So, open dialogue and discussion are key. So, that's my presentation on Chapter 2, Clarifying Values. I hope it was helpful and gave a little more insight. Thank you, and thanks for listening.